Battlefield 6 Season 2 just bought a Headstone. A 92,000 concurrent player spike on Steam. Nobody in marketing should be popping bottles. Put the champagne down and look at the other number. Battlefield 6 launched with an all-time Steam peak of 747,440 players. 92K? That's not a dip. That's a Mariana Trench-sized crater. Battlefield 6 Season 2 was supposed to be the recovery season, with new maps, new weapons, the Battlefield 6 update, with 240-plus gameplay improvements. And the player count? Still a Grand Canyon-sized gap from launch. If BF6 gameplay is objectively improved, why didn't players come back in force? Let's head downrange. I'll show you what Season 2 actually fixed, why the Battlefield 6 player count is still bleeding, and the one problem at DICE that can't be patched with the Quality of Life update. If you're done with clickbait, mud, trust me bro Battlefield 6 news, you're in the right room. This is Jay, with KaoS Games Inc. This is your BF6 mission brief. Lock in. S2. Alright, let's separate the wannabe BF6 whistleblowers from actual Battlefield 6 intel, because right now there are two completely different scenarios circling like vultures. Story number 1. Community speculation. Season 2 fixed nothing. Buy a Headstone, the game's dead. Sell the servers to Arc Raiders. Story number 2. Official confirmed reality. Battlefield 6 Season 2 delivered one of the most aggressive mechanical overhauls this game has seen since launch. According to EA's official patch notes, Update 1.2.1.0 introduced over 240 gameplay improvements, recoil tuning, weapon balancing, animation timing, core stability fixes. Translation: your gun actually shoots where you point it now, no drift. They deployed 2 new maps, Contaminated and Hagental Base, addressing one of the loudest launch criticisms, map variety and replay fatigue. And here's where veteran Battlefield players perk up like war dogs hearing whoosh from a distant helicopter rotor. Yeah, the little bird AH-6 returned. This caffeinated hummingbird of death isn't just air superiority. It's a psychological weapon disguised as a glass cannon with miniguns. It changes vertical control, map flow, and aggressive flanking patterns. Asymmetric Battlefield dominance is back in Battlefield 6 multiplayer. This isn't cosmetic content. This is structural gameplay infrastructure correction. So let's front street the clickbait right now. Season 2 did nothing? No, that's factually wrong. Argue it in the comments if you want, Karen, because Battlefield 6 gameplay today is objectively more stable and more mechanically consistent than launch day. The hard truth? Season 2 fixed the product. Listen, it did. But fixing the product doesn't automatically fix the player behavior damage that already exists. It's like hitting concrete when your chute doesn't open. The impact hits hard. Battlefield launches operate like first impressions in a gunfight. You only get one clean shot. Miss it, and you're getting farmed. And that's exactly where Battlefield 6 Season 2 ran into its real war zone. Here's the moment where the numbers stop being statistics and start becoming a hostile verdict. Battlefield 6 Season 2 peaked at roughly 92,000 concurrent players on Steam. That sounds healthy until you remember launch day hit 747,440 concurrent players. That means over 655,000 players didn't come back. Not because they couldn't, because they chose not to. And this is where fake analysis dies and real Battlefield intel exists. This is not a gameplay failure anymore. This is a momentum failure. Battlefield games live and die on launch momentum. That initial surge determines server population stability, squad formation density, and long-term retention curves. When Battlefield 6 launched, players encountered inconsistent gunplay, balance instability, and performance unpredictability. That first impression fractured trust. And trust in multiplayer ecosystems behaves like oxygen. You don't notice it when it's there, but once it's gone, everything suffocates. So mechanically, Battlefield 6 gameplay is on point, but here's the brutal truth. Players don't return because the game got better. Players return because they believe the game got better. And belief moves slower than patch notes. OCD neurodivergent pattern recognition check? This exact recovery arc has happened before across the Battlefield franchise. Battlefield titles historically rebuild populations gradually through sustained update cadence, not single-season correction spikes. This means Season 2 was never going to instantly restore 700,000 players. It was the first step in rebuilding player trust infrastructure. But trust recovery operates on delay, which leads to the emotional peak truth most channels are too afraid to say out loud. Battlefield 6 Season 2 didn't fail, it fixed the battlefield, but it's still fighting its own ghost. So now we're standing at the exact point where Battlefield 6's future stops being about patches and starts being about player psychology. Because here's the Battlefield reality without sugarcoating it. Season 2 was never the finish line. It was the first tourniquet on a wound that's been bleeding since launch. Which means, mechanically, Battlefield 6 multiplayer is no longer fighting itself. But perception? Perception doesn't update on command. Players who left during launch didn't leave because of one bug. They left because there was an infestation of bugs, and confidence collapsed. I know confidence doesn't return when you fix one thing. It returns when players see consistent, sustained improvement over time. Right now, Battlefield 6 Season 2 is operating inside what's called a trust rebuild window. This is the phase where the game must prove, not just with one Season 2 update, but over multiple updates, that stability, balance, and gameplay integrity are permanent, not temporary. If Season 3 continues this trajectory, player count recovery becomes mathematically probable. If momentum stalls, even briefly, the recovery window closes. Because multiplayer ecosystems operate on population gravity. Players go where other players already are. That momentum, it compounds in both directions. And right now, Battlefield 6 is trying to reverse gravitational collapse. Some players see Season 2 as proof the game is recovering. Others see it as too little, too late. And the next 90 days will decide which one becomes reality. As always, we appreciate you for dropping in and thank you for supporting the channel. This is Jay providing the chaos. If you want uncensored, unhinged Battlefield intel with a dopamine hit your nervous system was searching for, smash subscribe. KaoS Games Inc. is becoming the most trusted and new premier Battlefield intel source for players who actually understand what's happening behind the patch notes. Check out more Battlefield intel linked below. Battlefield 6 isn't fighting bugs anymore, it's fighting memory. Players remember how the battlefield felt when it was unstable. Players remember missed shots, broken engagements, and trust fractures during the launch window. And player behavior follows memory, not patch notes. Season 2 didn't instantly restore the battlefield population, but it stopped the freefall, it stabilized the foundation. And stabilization is the prerequisite for recovery. What happens next determines everything. Because Battlefield games don't recover in one patch. They recover through sustained pressure, sustained updates, and sustained proof. Right now, Battlefield 6 is no longer collapsing, but it hasn't fully recovered either. And that makes this moment the most dangerous and most important phase in its life cycle. Today's debate: Nuke, is Battlefield 6 Season 2 the beginning of the comeback, or the last chance before permanent population collapse? Best answer gets pinned, worst answer gets ignored. Stop shit-farming muddy channels, check out the eye candy linked below, because nothing exposes fake Battlefield experts faster than raw player count numbers that refuse to churn up the water. This is KaoS Games Inc. saying, get some sunlight, stack that vitamin D, and maybe eat a breath mint. JKaos, out.